Peace. I'm making this video called Muhammad Started Black Power. And we're going to give examples showing you how the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, through the Muhammad Speaks newspaper, started black consciousness in America. And when I say that the messenger started black consciousness, I'm saying that no one before him or after him is responsible for black consciousness in America. Now, we must give credit where credit is due and let it be known that there were many brothers and sisters who came before the messenger with half-truths and misunderstandings about the black man. We cannot deny that. We cannot deny the sincerity of a lot of black people before the messenger trying to do the best that they can with what they knew. But no one before nor after the messenger is responsible for black consciousness. No black Hebrews, no African spirituality people, no Moors, nobody. Now let's give an example of what I'm talking about. Now let's use the state of California as an example. Now let's go to the Watts riots, because this riot was significant in the history of black people in America. Because the rewriters of history wants to make it to seem like in California, the Black Panther Party was responsible for black consciousness. But we see in August of 1965, there was no Black Panther Party. And if we look at the pictures that were taken by Life magazine of the actual black people who was doing the revolt, we see a brother holding up a issue of the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. Because the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad had already had believers in California who was pushing the Muhammad Speaks newspaper, which was transforming the thinking of the black people in California. So let's go even further, because we don't want to stop with Life magazine. We want to give you another example of the news as it actually happened, and not this rewritten history that these brothers and sisters want to come up with today. We can go to the Jet magazine, September 16th of 1965, and listen to them report the news. Now, we could go to an article that was written that's called LA Muslims Challenge Negro Leadership in the Ghetto, to see what they had to say. And it says, even 3 weeks after the Los Angeles Negro Revolt, it is still impossible to assess the total damage. But one thing, a factor which could contribute to new outbursts, is readily apparent. The black Muslims are powerful enough to challenge the established Negro leadership in the Watts ghetto. Perhaps the greatest single blow to the leadership came when Nobel Peace Prize winner Martin Luther King Jr. was forced to invoke the name of Elijah Muhammad to gain a hearing in the riot-scarred community of Watts. So we have another example from Jet magazine, which reported the news as it happened. Said that even the golden child for the white man's integration could not get a hearing from the people in Watts without using the name of the messenger. This is something that you don't hear about in this so-called black history. Now let's go even further. It says, Dr. King's high intelligence, high sensitivity, and innate leadership enable him to quickly assess the mood of the black people in Los Angeles. It says, once he saw they were with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he realized why the other leaders, not just him, but the other leaders had not been able to get these people's ears. He said, and it says, and that the only way he could would be by using the name of Mr. Muhammad. This is the Jet magazine, September 16th, 1965. And as they're reporting the news as it happened, said that Dr. King realized that the only way he can get the attention of these people is by using the name of the messenger. Because the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad had already influenced the thinking of the people through the Muhammad Speaks and through the believers that was already in California. Now let's go even further than that. Let's go to the Jet magazine, September 2nd, 1965. Another report of the news as it happened. you will see they have another article talking about how Dr. King had to use the name of the messenger. And you can go on in this issue of the Jet magazine and see that the police had shot up the Muslim temple because the Muslims and the police were going back and forth for years. It didn't just start in 65. It was happening for years that the Muslims and the police were going back and forth. So the militant attitude that the black people had in California was caused by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his teachings through the Muhammad Speaks and through the believers and ministers that was in California. So all of this new school stuff with this African spirituality, with all these brothers trying to criticize the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as if it wasn't his teachings and his teachings alone that inspired black consciousness in America, it makes no sense. Because he is the one, Allah's messenger, who inspired black people to even start thinking about black power. These other brothers with these half-truths, we give them credit, but the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is responsible for black consciousness in America. And until next time, brothers and sisters, we have more examples. California was just one example. But we can use many examples to continue to prove the points of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad being the messenger of Allah and solely responsible for black consciousness in America. But until next time, brothers and sisters, peace.